Today we are going to talk about how to do a twist out or a braid out. Miss V's wearing twists currently, so this is going to be on twists, but you can do a twist out or a braid out from pretty much almost any hairstyle. Box braids and box twists work the best, but you'll get kind of a different look if you do from cornrows or whatever, but it's all kind of the same concept no matter what style you started with. So I feel like there are three really important things to successfully doing a twist out. The first one is the length of time that the style you're starting with has been in. You're going to need it to be in for at least one day to really set the pattern that you're putting in the hair, the twist or the little wavy or curly pattern that you're going to have. So at least one day, but the more important thing I think is that you it's a maximum about a week or so for a couple of reasons. One reason is because you want the hair to still be pretty freshly clean, and I always wash her hair right before I put in a new style, and then we usually don't do a lot. Maybe we rinse the hair with just water or whatever, but we don't do much washing while a style is in. And for instance, she just had yarn braids that were in for about 7 weeks, and when I took them out, the bases down at the bottom had kind of a lot of lint collected there, and they were just kind of dirty from having been in for a while, and her hair really needed a wash. So at that point, if you try to do a braid out or a twist out, they're going to be dirty at the bases. So I feel like if you just do a style that you can keep in for about a week, then the hair still looks nice and fresh and clean when you take out the twists or the braids. The second reason is you'll have less, the hair will be less tangled up, and it'll be easier to separate the sections without messing up the sections, and I'll get to that on the point number 3. So first reason is the first important thing is length of time that the previous style was in. My second tip is to keep the hair well moisturized. When you do the twist out, you don't want to have really dry looking hair. So first you want to start with fresh, clean, super well moisturized hair. And so we did that last weekend, washed her hair, well moisturized it. We're really simple on the hair products around here. This Talia Wajid Protective Mist Beautifier is pretty much, other than the conditioner we wash her hair with, the only product that we use. So after I washed her hair, it was wet when I was putting the twists in, but I coated each section of hair with more mist as I was doing the twists, and then every single day I spray her head really thoroughly with the beautifying mist every morning, and that keeps her hair pretty well moisturized while it's in the particular style. So that is tip number 2, to keep the hair well moisturized. Okay, so the third tip, and this is definitely the most important part of how to do a twist out, which is the key that I think sometimes people miss and they get confused on how to do a twist out that has that defined pattern, is the way that you separate the hair, the twists or the braids. It's very important that each section, a twist is made out of 2 sections of hair, remains clumped together. Do not separate the individual hairs in each section of the twist, or that you'll not have you won't get a good twist out that way. All right, so you can see here that I like to start further up on the twist just because it's easier to separate the 2 sections in the middle of the twist than at the bottom. So I'll start somewhere in the middle and start to pull the twist apart, and then continue to untwist it. and keep those sections, those two separate sections, totally intact without pulling apart the individual hairs in the section. And then you get this nice defined curl pattern. Okay, so we're going to take the twist. I'm going to go somewhere in the middle of the twist where I can easily find a spot to start separating the two sections. And I'm going to pull them apart. You can kind of unravel it from the bottom this way. And sometimes the bottoms are these are pulling apart pretty easy today. Sometimes the bottoms are the trickiest part because of the way that you twirl the hair together at the bottom if you're not using any hair things. So sometimes those can be hard to separate. But I'm just untwisting them without pulling apart the individual hairs. You can untwist a little bit, unravel it this way a little bit before you do it too. Anything to just loosen up the twists and make them easy to pull apart without separating the hairs. So as I was saying before, with the length of time that a style's been in, sometimes the longer that a style like this is in, the more little hairs start to escape the twist and they start winding their way around each other, and it makes it harder. Like these twists are separating really easy for me today. They're not tangled, stuck together in any way, and that's ideal for doing a twist out. So we're going to take all the, and this will only take, 2 minutes, 3 minutes for me to undo all of her twists. So I'll do that, and then we can give you a view of what her whole hair looks like, all of her hair when all of the twists have been removed. All right, so that only took us a couple minutes to really quickly take these twist outs. That's something that you could do in the morning before school or whatever, and it doesn't take a lot of time. I don't know about the lighting, can sometimes be deceiving, but like I was mentioning with the nice clean and moisturized hair, her curls are nice and black and shiny and healthy looking and very bouncy. It's very cute. And depending on what style you started with, braids, twists, how big they were, depending on your child or your texture of hair, you can get totally different results. It's not going to necessarily look exactly like this. I don't know that we've ever had two twist outs that have looked exactly the same, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see if we can turn her around and get, it needs to settle down a little bit, and then it'll, like we've got the ends are kind of poking out a little, but after it settles in a few minutes or whatever, it'll lay a little nicer, and you can always pop these up into pigtails or ponytail or whatever. And we've got those nice bouncy curls.